this.
How can you fix your marriage? You embarrassed, they be laughing at all them broken promises and flowers. Don't be passion back. You can get this course for no divorce, so just imagine that. 12 weeks of Maya's life will save you from the avalanche. How can you fix your marriage? You can fix your marriage. How can you fix your marriage? How can you fix your marriage? 12 weeks of Maya's life, we can fix your marriage. 12 weeks of Maya's life, how can you fix your marriage? 12 weeks of Maya's life, help you fix your marriage. 12 weeks of Maya's life, help you fix your marriage. You can fix your marriage. You can fix your marriage. 12 weeks of Maya's life, you can fix your marriage. Hello, Maya's life.
Hello, we're here again.
Yes.
Yes. And we are going to talk about that performance with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, it was a little while ago, a couple weeks ago.
But we keep hearing about it, so we figured we'd talk on it because it sparked a lot in us. It made us think about what we experienced with our couples that we coach.
Yeah, because people are still talking about the passion that when they looked in each other's eyes. You know, so.
And it's all over the internet.
Yeah.
Are they dating? Are they this? And, they've denied that and said, they're just great colleagues and they work together well. But we can't deny the connection, right? So a lot of our couples say, I want to rebuild. I want to rekindle that flame that was there when we first got together, that intimacy.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today about things that kill intimacy, how to combat that, and bring the intimacy back.
Yes.
So what's the number one thing that kind of kills intimacy?
The thing that kills intimacy is really distance. No communication. So if you don't have any communication, or if you don't spend time with each other, those type of things will kill the passion. Also, repetition, getting in a rut. Kind of not adding anything new into the relationship.
So it's important to keep things fresh, right? And then to also have that open communication.
Open communication.
So what kills communication? Defensiveness.
Hey, we gotta be defensive. Somebody asks you a question, you don't want to answer. What do people do? They automatically get defensive.
Yes. Defensiveness. Nagging. Oh, such a nagger. And now you don't even want to go in the room with that person. So yes.
And a lot of times you have to ask yourself, is that person nagging? Or are they asking me to do something that I just hadn't got around to doing or don't want to do, and you don't know how to express yourself and tell them that I really don't want to do that, or I don't know how to do it in some cases, or why do I have to do it? So if you talk to them, then it won't be, of course, of a nagging situation. It'll be more of a communication, trying to understand each other.
So really quickly, we got a lot of points, but I got 6 things that create defensive behaviors in your relationship. All right? So the first thing is black and white thinking. It's all or nothing.
All or nothing.
It's my way or the highway. It's black or it's white.
A lot of times self-esteem plays a lot in this too, because how you feel about yourself will also kind of dictate how you feel about that person and what they're doing, what type of offenses that they're doing that you may see, and that make you close up, make you get defensive in a lot of ways, or even get on the offense and do something bad too, and not bad as in physical, but something bad as in detrimental to the relationship,
Yeah. It's not all or nothing. There's always a gray area, So give an example. In our relationship, how was it in the beginning, right?
Yes, in the beginning, it was kind of like we were trying to learn each other. So we was kind of filling each other out, trying to really understand what made us kind of tick, And as far as, I had a lot of insecurities in the beginning of our relationship because, by being a man, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't want to talk about, or things that I felt like I knew that I had to teach her or tell her, and which, of course, made her angry because she felt like I don't need a father, I need a man that's going to be by my side, and not somebody that's going to try to teach me and train me or show me things, So it's always 50-50 in the relationship, So it's like that person is your equal. And if you kind of go into it like that, approach it that way, then you're able to communicate on a more deeper level, because they feel like they're in the relationship together.
Right. So that was a big thing. Like, it's all or nothing. So if I didn't come out for dinner that evening. Oh, she's with some other dudes, or she's not interested in me, or she doesn't like me. And no, there's always a gray area there. Maybe she had other things to do. Maybe there's other things going on in life that people just don't want to do those things that you're requesting of them at that time. It's not all or nothing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so shifting the blame, that's a biggie. Like, you say something, and then the other person blames you for something else.
Yeah, somebody said like, they said, "Well, why didn't you take out the garbage? Well, why didn't you wash out the dishes? Why
Yeah.
didn't you wash the dishes at the dinner yesterday?"
That's defensiveness,
Yeah,
which kills intimacy because you're annoyed at this point.
yeah,
Because you're like, man, if I just want the house to not smell when I come home, take the garbage out, right? So these are things that couples go back and forth on.
yeah,
Shifting the blame. Don't shift the blame. Become aware of when you're shifting. All right? Controlling manipulative behaviors, okay? So we all know about these. We all know about that. So, controlling finances, time with children, even intimate time, withholding, affection, being passive aggressive. These are things that can be controlling and very manipulative and kill
yeah. Intimacy.
intimacy.
It does. It does. If somebody's withholding sex from you, then you're like, hey, well, I mean, how old are we? You know what I'm saying? How old are we?
And what that is a result of not communicating and feeling understood on both sides. It's never win-lose. It should be win-win. And if you're trying to win so the other person loses, you're going to perpetuate that defensive cycle.
Yeah, you both lose that way.
Okay, guarding and withholding. Now we hear this from a lot of, females, I will say. Oh, he doesn't open up. He doesn't talk about anything. He's so guarded. He doesn't, I don't know what he's thinking.
Men, we're not taught to be open and express your feelings and talk about things. And, so it's more or less, we're supposed to have things under control. And a lot of times we feel like if we open up and talk to our women, it's like, okay, well, it kind of is like a sign of weakness. Like we're not in control. Like we can't handle everything that we're going through. Those type of things. So we don't want her to look at us a certain type of way. So we kind of, we feel like we got it all under control, and sometimes we don't. And then we get defensive, and then we shift the blame, and we do all these things that kind of hurt that intimacy.
And then being superior, kind of acting like a know-it-all, like in the relationship, and that person doesn't have any insight or ability to contribute to anything because you know everything.
Yeah, and if people feel like they don't have a voice in the relationship, then they'll start being real defensive towards you, and also
Distant.
they'll be very distant.
They'll withdraw.
Because they're like, well, I don't have an opinion, so why should I say anything?
Yeah.
And if I do say anything, he knows how to do it better than I do, so why should I do this? Why should I cook? Or why should I do this? Or why should I do that? Because if he knows how to do it, why don't he just do it? Or why don't she just do it?
Okay, and then critical. So that kind of goes with that. If I'm better at this, and then they get real critical of you, then you get to a place where you feel like, I can't do anything right in this relationship. Why am I here?
Yeah. And it takes you a little while to get to that point, but when you get to that point, that person's
watch
normally
out.
fed up and frustrated to the point of you got to do a lot of maintenance to get them back.
And if your partner is saying things like this, please get some help. Speak to coaches.
Yeah.
Speak to someone. Get some help. Read some books. Do some things because that's a warning sign that things are going the opposite direction. Yes.
Maybe take a turn for the worse.
Right. So, once again, Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, that moment, that intimacy, that spark.
You could tell, like, when they looked into each other's eyes, now, I'm just saying that they were acting, those were some good actors, you know what I'm saying? But when they looked into each other's eyes, it's like they kind of just was lost in each other's eyes and staying there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they shared that connection, So with that connection, a lot of people in their relationship wish they had that type of connection. So if they see that, whether it be on TV or in person or if you're on a double date, when they see that connection, they're like, man, we used to have that type of connection. So how do we get back to that type of connection? And the thing is open up, communicating, not being defensive. expressing to your spouse or loved one how I feel. Opening up to them. It's important. If that person can open up to you, then that will draw you closer together to where you will have that intimacy and look in each other's eyes. A lot of times we don't even look in each other's eyes anymore. We go to work, come home, and then we're like, oh, what do you feed the kids? They get a bath. We watch a little TV. Then they go to bed.
Yes.
You know.
Eye contact is so important.
Yeah. It's important.
So, step one to kind of get rid of these defensive behaviors in your relationship is to call it like it is. Stand with that person, look them in their eye, and say, you know what? How you're responding to me by blaming me for the dishes when I'm bringing up the trash is, I feel it's defensive. And I want to know what you're feeling, like what's going on. Help me understand what you're experiencing right now so that the next conversation we have like this doesn't go this way. And in doing so, you gotta be empathetic. You gotta be mindful of how you're communicating, but call it like it is.
If somebody's asking you to do something and they're upset, there's a reason for it. So if you're able to understand that person, and if you love that person, and you want to live with them and have a meaningful relationship, and also communicate, and you want to be able to do everything that you want to do in a relationship, and be comfortable and relax and let your home be a safe haven, then these are the things that will help you build that intimacy so you'll have that loving relationship that you need to really function as a person, to be, to be blessed, live your best life,
Yes.
because you don't want to be arguing and fussing and fighting. Life is too short to be arguing and fussing at home about things that really you should be doing in the first place. If you need to take out the garbage, take out the garbage. If it smells like trash in your house, you want to take the garbage out. You know what I'm saying?
The trash
Unless
out.
you like that. Now, if you like that, eventually they will find somebody else that don't like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if they're arguing and fussing about it, then it means something to them. So, and if you love them and they mean something to you, you may want to listen to them.
Listen, reduce the danger. That's the second thing on the list here. Reduce the danger. So you call it like it is. Reduce the danger, by making sure you don't have this conversation at the wrong time. If someone's just coming home from work, they've had a bad day, they may snap off at you. So let them, put the things down, get adjusted, make sure you pick the right time, have the right tone in your voice, be calm, breathe before you say anything so you're not all in your feelings and you can really think through what you're saying, and just be mindful to reduce the danger. Make it a safe place. And the more you build intimacy and the more you feel that intimacy in your relationship, it'll be easier to talk through these things.
It will be. It will be. So that person will be more receptive to it.
So 3, emotional intelligence. So with all our anger management clients, we make them take the emotional intelligence test, which gives you, an emotional intelligence quotient, kind of like an IQ score. And the key to emotional intelligence is self-awareness. So please become more self-aware of yourself.
You got to know your triggers.
Yes, know
what
your
makes you mad,
triggers. Know what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what makes you mad, sad, whatever, embarrassed. Know these things.
Also, understand what people say about you too, as far as what they complain about you. What do they fuss about you, or say that you do? Are you controlling? Are you more possessive, or what type of things are they angry with you about? Kind of reevaluate those things.
It'll make you stronger. Don't run from it.
Yeah, because it's all with you. I mean, it's whatever you want to change about you and your relationship.
You should always be learning, reading books, get a coach. Talk to somebody, work through these things. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're not judging anybody. We just want to help you in your relationship.
Yeah. Any way that you can have more peace in your life, that's our goal.
That's what it is.
Right? All right. So asking questions, like I was saying, ask that person, what's going on? How do you feel? How is this making, the situation better? Ask these questions so that you can get to a resolution. Because the questions take the defensiveness out of it. Instead of saying, well, you never take out the trash, or you never wash the dishes, or you never put gas in the car, you. This person's going to get very defensive and feel attacked.
You always start an argument.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
So,
you did this, hey, don't come at me like that.
Exactly.
Always.
So you should have and must have and ought tos and all these things create defensiveness. So it's very important to take a step back and say, what's going on? Like, I know that, you come home and sometimes the car's on E, help me understand that. Like, what's your end of your day like? You know, what times could we, combat that so we can make sure there's gas in the car, whatever's going on. Ask questions instead of saying you. Okay? All right. And then the last point here is treating people as equals. And that's taking us back to this whole Gaga and Bradley Cooper thing. Like, that song was very powerful, and, it touched a lot of people. It won an award, right?
It did.
She won an award with it. They won an
Who
award.
wrote that song? Did Bradley Cooper write that song? And did they collab on it? They collabed on it.
I believe it was a collaboration.
Okay.
But he did write a lot of the music on the soundtrack, and she did too. So
Very talented.
kudos to them. But, like, I'll read you some of the lyrics. It says, "Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Question. Or do you need more? Question. Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? Question." See how it questions in the song, and they kind of both went back and forth, and it wasn't all this defensive, communication. Even through the lyrics of that song, you could see how that can allow people to speak from their heart space and to really open up and express what they're feeling. And that's important. You have to get to the feelings, because that's what's creating all this defensive behavior.
And basically, you have to fill that void, that darkness. You got to fill that void with light and with love. So, I mean, and that's the thing that, from the first time he met her, he basically fell in love with her. From that love, it caused just like a magnet. He was drawn to her. And by him being drawn to her, he was able to listen to her. Like, those are the things that he really held her in high regard. So now the only thing is, he would hurt himself, but he didn't really want to hurt her. And of course, till the end when he fell out in the Grammy acceptance speech. But still, it was like, he was always wanting to be by her side. The way he complimented her, also the way he responded to her in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So it was really a real love on screen.
It was.
And that's what people picked up on. They felt that chemistry.
Yes. We don't have a lot of movies like that nowadays.
Right. We don't have a lot of relationships like that.
And it had a very sad ending. And we want to just say, as mental health professionals, because we both work in that capacity in so many ways here in the community, just online, everywhere. Please, if you feel like someone is not in the best space, reach out to them.
Yes.
Show them some love. Be supportive. Don't blame. Don't criticize. Don't be superior. Talk to them and try to understand and provide resources.
Try to get
sometimes
them some help.
family, there's dynamics and things. Maybe you need outside opinion. Create that safe space so that person can explore whatever they're going through at that moment, so they can work through it.
Right.
Because there is light, there is love out here, and you just gotta know how to let it into your heart.
Yeah, it's even light in the darkness. So a lot of times, people get to a place where they get depressed and they get down, and they don't really feel that light, but it's light in that darkness.
There is. It's always there.
Always.
It never leaves you. Yeah. So we love you.
Yes.
Build that intimacy in your relationships, please.
Thank you for watching. Once again, Myers Life.
Myers Life.
5, I'm alive. 6, 7, 8, feeling great. 9, gonna shine, life is good. I'm doing fine. 10, gonna do it right and do it again, yeah. I look into the sky with all the beautiful color, but there's more than just for me, so gonna share it with another. I got to show, to give, let out. I want to sing and shout. Take a look and see a beautiful morning that turns into a beautiful evening, and together make a beautiful life. And if you wanna see, then come along with me, that's right. And if you want a good tomorrow, it's pretty simple, gotta find a light to follow. And if you do, you have
The Myers helped me face the issues that were tearing my relationship apart. They provided a safe environment to work through those difficult issues associated with our children, work, finances, trust, and intimacy. I feel I achieved a closeness and a renewed commitment to my relationship. I highly encourage couples to face their challenges and give the Myers a call.
We want to thank the Myers for all of their support. We were on the brink of a divorce.
We just could not communicate. We would have the same argument over and over again.
But after a great deal of reflection, we actually enjoy being around each other again. You taught us skills that have helped us manage conflict.
Yeah, we had a great spiritual conversation with a couple that had vested interest in helping us find our peace.
As a startup entrepreneur, I have been able to leverage the Myers coaching. First of all, They are a sounding board for my personal anxieties as I develop and fine-tune my leadership. I would get so irritated. I now have a plan to manage my anger and a support system that holds me accountable. They are non-judgmental people with tremendous skill and talent, an asset for anyone trying to develop professionally.